We are welcoming back to the show Lillian Carrier. She plays Drea on Everything's Gonna Be Okay, and she's an amazing actress, and we're so thrilled. I think that we're welcoming her right now to come into the show. Lillian, are you there? She was in the waiting room. Let's see if they're able to connect her in so that that she can be here with us. She's there. Lillian, good morning. Can you hear me? Hi, Lillian. How are you?
I'm good.
It's so good to see you. Are you stuck in the rain too?
Raining right now, but it is very gloomy. It looks like it could rain any minute, and it was
Okay.
raining a little bit ago.
Okay, we're getting downpour here, and you may even hear some of it on because I'm in a part of my house where it's really loud on the roof, and normally I love that, but for a broadcast, it maybe isn't the best thing. So, Lillian, welcome back to the show, and we're so excited because since the last time you were on the show, the season finale of Everything's Gonna Be Okay aired, and you had another role on a hit show that you did. Tell us about that.
Okay, so I made an appearance on NCIS New Orleans in the role of Rachel Kinnaman. It was really cool. So she is on the spectrum herself, another autistic character, super cool. And the beginning of the episode opened with her father hanging out eating breakfast, and all of a sudden there's gunfire and chaos, and you don't know if her father is dead or alive and on the run, and it's all crazy.
And so what was that like for you as an actress? Was that super fun? Was that was hard?
It was new. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Definitely a new challenge, but everyone on set was amazing. They all made me feel very comfortable. And the amazing thing about the set was all already had experience with autism, and because in my experience, when I had experience with it, they don't know if you're capable, ask you, and like there's always I don't know if they can do this, but they have a PA on their show. It's absolutely everyone's favorite person, and he is on the spectrum himself, and his name is Desmond, and he's just the coolest person ever. So when I showed up, they're like, yeah, like she got cast in the role, she can do it, there's no question, which was amazing to experience.
I love that because I don't know that everybody realizes what a difference it is. I know at one point in my life, I wasn't aware of individuals on the autism spectrum. And then the more I met people on the spectrum, the more comfortable I was. And now it seems shocking to me that people have this thought, wondering if somebody on the spectrum is capable of fill in the blank, right? Because I know so many people on the spectrum, and I know it's different for all people. But for you to be on a set where people have already had that experience, where it's already been demystified, it had to have been just that much more fun for you to be there because you didn't have to go over that hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And it was really cool having him on there, as he took really good care of me and was able to like really understand me and go, predict what I need and stuff, because he's been in my position. I mean, not the same exact one. Very helpful.
We're talking a little bit in the chat, and I'm gonna go ahead and, because we were talking about later on having your sister join us.
Yes.
On the show, and we very much I misunderstood and thought you guys were in the same location. I don't know why it didn't occur to me that you're probably sheltering in different places. So if you want to take a second, and not where anybody else can see, but in the chat here, if you would give the email address to our producer, he will email the link to your sister so that she can get on with us. Oh, she's already there. He's already taken care of it. Traven is so on top of it. So wonderful. We'll have her join in just a few minutes. So I wanted to go back and talk a little bit about Everything's Going to Be Okay. Because this show, Lillian, this show, it has turned into like our favorite thing. But I don't know if you heard me say that, you know, Traven loves it too, but we watch it and we watch like this. Do you find people saying that I watch and I go, I can't look. Oh my gosh, over and over and over. It's just so shocking, but it's so hilarious. Do you have other viewers that are telling you that they find themselves like having to like cover their faces and cover their eyes because they're like, oh my gosh, that's happening? Or am I the only person?
I feel it's more the parent side because
are you saying we're fuddy duddies?
Thinking of your children in that situation is very different than thinking of yourself in that situation, right?
I'm sure you're right. I suddenly feel very
individuals on the spectrum has been like, I can't believe that you're doing this. Like, it's showing we're capable of these things. It's like, I'm just really happy that it's out there and we're, you know, you're not handling us with kid gloves and we're not just the comic relief. Like, we are characters, we have stories, and we have capabilities to handle those stories.
Yeah, and the stories are varied and different, and there's a lot of discussion about sex on the show. That's one of the things that I find myself going, oh my gosh. But it is by no means the only thing. It seems like everything is on the table, and the things that the teenagers say to each other. You know, even there was the one scene when you guys are all there, and the mother from Australia is on the big screen and having a conversation with you guys. And I had to pick myself up off the floor because I kept falling off the sofa. I was laughing and screaming and jumping up and down and going, oh my goodness. Right. I mean, it's hard to watch and not, it feels like an interactive experience that, you know, you find yourself going, oh no, or I can't believe they just said that. It's like my favorite guilty pleasure right now. So it is available. The show is for Freeform and it's on Freeform, but it's also available. The whole of season 1 is available on Hulu. Please tell me that you guys have been picked up for season 2.
We haven't been informed yet. We're still waiting.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm sorry. That's unacceptable. Who do I have to call? You can't leave me here.
I know we're all just like sitting here going, tell us.
No, did you hear me say at the beginning? I want to be in that house right now to see how they're dealing with seclusion. I want to see how your character is dealing with your relationship, long distance, and not being able to be there. I want to see this. I can't stand it. I find myself thinking about it. This is crazy. So we have to, hey, Freeform, this is Shannon. Come on already. Green light season 2. Now, for people who aren't watching, tell them a little bit about Drea and what her deal is.
Okay, so Drea she's 17 in high school. She and Matilda are seniors. She comes in episode 2, and I think her entrance is absolutely like the best scene ever. It's a great introduction. She just says like whatever on her mind. There's no filter, and it's all quirky, crazy. And yeah, she is the person who comes in and goes, Matilda, whoa, what are you doing now? And she really has Matilda's back, and she's really her like close friend in this trio of friendship. And while Matilda goes off on her crazy adventures, she's just going, I just love her.
I just love, the thing I love about Drea is that she is the embodiment of that honesty. Yeah. That she says what she's thinking, even if it's because so often people are like, well, I didn't want to tell the truth and hurt somebody's feelings. I think what's often people misunderstand that for folks on the spectrum, they're not looking to hurt anybody's feelings and they care about other people's feelings, but they're going to tell the truth because they feel it's the right thing to do. And I just love that Drea is so true to herself always.
Always.
Even when somebody is trying to tell her, well, you need to be this way for me, she manages to stand up for herself and speak up for herself and say, that's not really me. This is what I'm comfortable with. I just find her such a delightful breath of fresh air. I don't want to spoil for people who haven't watched, but your character falls in love.
Yes.
We won't say with who, but it's fabulous. And there is a moment that is so divine to me where your character says the big I love you, and the way you express it as an actress and what happens. I'd love to know, like, how much of that was scripted and how much of that did you add? Like, it's when things are really good, like, it's impossible, you don't think about it till afterwards, but I want to know, did Josh write it that way? How much input did you have? It's just one of the most delightful moments I've seen on television in my life.
Okay, so for the consulting, it's blurred how much I had input and how much was already in his head, because there was a lot of it. We had many conversations with each other where I never saw the script. It was just him asking questions, me giving feedback, me talking about what I wanted to see, and the things I didn't like about other shows. And like one of my main things I asked is, I want stimming to just be accepted. I want stimming to be beautiful. I want it to come out in very positive moments and not just negative moments. And so that's something that's seen throughout it. And then that I love you scene where those such intense moments come out. It was put in there, and it was so the chew necklace that Drea has, that was included because of me. I had a meeting with him and some of the other writers, and they asked questions about it, and then the next day I got the script and it was included in there. And then working in the service dog, in that scene.
Is that Luke?
That day, we were discussing, like, it was just stimming, and then he's like, we don't have a lot of you actually using Duke in the series. Let's just put it in this scene and see if it works. If not, we'll cut it. And then it ended up just flowing so beautifully, having all of those aspects together. But yeah, most of it was written in the script at the table read.
And for people who don't know, the service dog that's on the show is your actual service dog. Is that him that we're hearing right there? That we heard.
That's actually my mom's dog.
Oh, it's not even. But is Luke there with you?
Yeah, Luke is here with me. He's just over here.
Okay,
Luke,
well,
come here. Let's see if we can get him on screen. I don't know if we can.
Hey, Luke. He was in our studio just like a month ago. There he is. Hello, Luke. You're so beautiful. And he is so good mannered. He is just a charmer. He is. But he's on the show playing the role of, his name is Luke, but he's on the show playing Duke. And he is delightful on the show as well. We're just thrilled to see him there. Now, you had done a little bit of acting before this. Is that correct?
I've done theater in like high school years back, but nothing like this. This was my
was it
my first thing? Yeah.
Was it your intention? Did you ever say to somebody, look, I want to be a working actress? Was that what your goal was, or you literally
it was never a plan of mine. I mean, I always thought it might be a cool thing to do, but it was never initiated as a plan. It was never like a big dream of mine. I just enjoyed learning and hanging out with my friends during it, and I had fun doing it in high school. But no, my plan was either to go into some sort of biology field, and then I ended up in school going for a teacher's certificate to
Wow.
hopefully work in like elementary school, preschool, and then maybe work my way up to eventually be a biology teacher. But like school is really hard for me. So I didn't know if I could make it to that level. And yeah, I was in college at the time. I was taking one class for my teaching degree, and the audition came up for Matilda, and I went for it. So I was like, why not?
And ended up with the role of Drea.
And I ended up with the
And
role, yeah.
but so now has this all changed for you? Now is it your intention to be an actress for the rest of your life? Or what do you think?
I'm gonna ride this ride as long as I can. I don't know if this will be the rest of my life, but it's definitely something I'm pursuing. I have an agent and a manager now, and I'm learning about the industry and how to audition and do all that. And I've gone on a couple, and so I got NCIS. And yeah, hopefully this continues. But in the meantime, I do Ourtism most days and then audition whenever I get a chance.
Well, great segue. Let's talk a little bit about Ourtism, and you tell me when you want your sister to come in.
Yeah, that might be part of the conversation about
Okay,
it.
so Chloe, Traven, can we have Chloe join us? And maybe, if you wouldn't mind, Lillian, would you introduce your sister to us?
Okay, so I have a twin sister. Her name is Chloe. Together, along with my mom, we founded a nonprofit called Ourtism that supports adults on the spectrum. Hello, Chloe.
Hi, Chloe. I sort of met you a couple of weeks ago at the tweet event, but I don't think I actually I don't think we had a big long conversation, and I didn't realize is that your dog that was there that night?
Yeah.
And what is your dog's name?
Benji.
Benji. I had a longer conversation with Benji, but so thrilled that you're here. And Chloe, am I right that you also work as your sister's assistant on set? Is that true?
Yeah, well, actually, I was Luke's assistant.
I love that Luke has an assistant. I absolutely love that. So what kinds of things were you doing on set?
So I was making sure that Luke was taken care of, that he ate his meals at the right time, that he went to the bathroom when every few hours. So he has a pretty regular schedule. So I would make sure that all that was taken care of, so that Lillian didn't have to worry about that. She could just focus on her job. And then she didn't have to stop everything if Luke was in a scene and be like, hey, we all need to stop so my dog could do something. So I did that so she didn't feel like she was getting in trouble. And so yeah, and then I also would, if she needed food or anything, I would run and grab her food. So what I like to do is she had her favorite breakfast kind of stuff. So I would grab her favorite donut if they had donuts out, and I would and she would go straight to hair and makeup, and I would bring food to that trailer, and I would put food in her dressing room and water and stuff so that she had whatever she needed wherever she went, so that she didn't have to worry about all that kind of stuff while she was memorizing lines and running around doing whatever she needed to do.
And as I recall, when you were on the show before, Lillian, you said that this was really essential for you, that you could not have been free to do what you did on the show had your sister not been helping you. But I can't imagine, I mean, you're both young, talented women, and, to see your sister, I mean, it's wonderful seeing your sister getting to shine like that.
Yeah.
But to be her an assistant, and sometimes when it's all about her and you're the person to get the water, was it ever, did you guys ever have disagreements about it? Did you ever feel like you were on the back burner, or were you just okay with it, Chloe?
No, I was so happy for her. I mean, honestly, I was just happy to be there because I love film, and I just was grateful to be on set when I really didn't have much of a reason to be there besides supporting her.
And like I've seen her for years. She's been acting since I can remember, like since she could talk, like she was on stage, maybe even before that. And she never got a huge part. And I was always like, oh my God, she's beyond talented. Like she could be getting Academy Awards. She's like at this higher level. And like it was, I'm like, am I going crazy? Because no one else saw this. And then she auditions and gets a part written for her on a show, and I'm like, okay, someone else at least sees this talent, you know. And so I was like so happy for her, and seeing her validated in the way like everyone was validating her on this set that like I've never seen before. It was just incredible to see that.
Well, I gotta say, what a remarkable sister you are. And Lillian, how lucky are you to that you, for both of you, how lucky are both of you to have each other? What a wonderful thing. I'm impressed that two sisters could be so wonderful. I gotta say, it just from like meeting the members of the cast that I have, it seems like it's probably a very fun set to be on. Is that true from both of you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's very goofy, silly. We all have a great time. I think Kayla is the most serious one on set, that she's very particular, and like we all respect that she's, you know, got to be focused, got to do things in her way. But for the most part, it's a very goofy, fun set, and we're all messing around and having a great time.
Well, and Josh Thomas, I mean, how brilliant and talented is he? You know, the, if we're seeing just a sliver of what goes on in his head, he's got to be one of the funniest people I've ever seen. Is he very focused on the set too, or is he just hilarious fun?
So he wears every hat. So he, you know, producer, writer, star. He is just chaotic, running everywhere, trying to do everything at the same time. So while he does have his goofy silliness, he's very much just everywhere all the time, and you're like, but yes, he keeps it fun.
I remember my first day on set, he was running literally around the entire set. So I was watching Lillian do one of the scenes in the classroom, and Josh came running by in heels, and then came running by a second time like 5 minutes later in tennis shoes. And I was like, why did he change his shoes? What's going on? I found out later that the heels was something he was going to wear on the show that he needed to break in.
Yeah.
I think it was in the a scene where he danced. So he was literally running around set with the headset on, listening to the scene while breaking in his shoes. And he would run. The reason he was running past me was he was going to set to tell someone some note about the acting or directing.
I can't even imagine, because the show is so hilarious. I remember the scene where he was dancing in the heels. Too much fun. A couple of people have written in and said some things. Donna wants you to know that it's so cool to see stimming accepted, Lillian, because I know how important that was to you. And she says echolalia too. And then Heather says it's to both of you, it's incredible to see how much you've both grown as people since taking on this role. So truly wonderful. And Heather, thank you for writing that in. Probably somebody who must know you both. So tell us about Ourtism. We were going to talk about that.
So Chloe, is there somewhere you want to start?
Well, Ourtism started because after high school, we couldn't really find any programs that or services that were really working for us, and or that even existed. So we started just talking about like all the things that we wish existed. And I remember all these people in our town, when they would get a diagnosis, or their kid would get a diagnosis, we were the go-to people, like, what do we do now? And so we started to go like, why are we waiting for someone else to create this? why don't we? And so we started, that's sort of how Autism started. And we were pretty much doing it before we made it an official company. And so some of the things I wanted was like just someone older or further along in their autism journey that I could talk to about the things I was going to. So we started mentorships. We started a life map program where you meet with someone who helps you break down your goals into manageable achievements once a week. We started support groups and social activities. And just all
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Where can people go to find out more information?
Ourtism.com.
Okay. And then is it just, can people only participate in your community, or is it something people can participate with from a distance?
Well, right now it's worldwide because everything's online right now. We're not doing anything in person, but we do in-house as well normally. But right now, and also everything all the way through May, I believe, is free right now. If you wanted to try out any of our services for the next month or two and see if you like it.
Okay, cool. You know, we didn't really talk about this in the beginning because I sort of feel like it, you know, I don't know whether it's anecdotal or not, but you know, I had the opportunity to talk to Lillian before on the show, but not with you, Chloe. So people are asking questions on, you know, in the chat and online and on our live feature about. So Lillian, I always hate to ask people to disclose what their diagnosis is, and I'm not going to ask you guys, but if you choose to, I guess I could say that if you choose to talk about how you identify yourself. They're asking how you guys each identify yourselves.
Oh, so we're very open about this, that autistic, 100% autistic, diagnosed at the age of 16.
Yeah, we were diagnosed at the same time. So,
and
yeah.
Are you the only two kids in your family, or do you have brothers and sisters?
We have another sister.
Okay, and you know, obviously we're not going to ask her, she's not here to identify herself, but I would imagine that how you are, even though you're twins and you both have this diagnosis, I would imagine that you are still very much your very own people, and that you have very different issues and needs and concerns. Is that true, or are there things that you guys have very much in common?
Yeah, we're very, very different people.
We're almost
very, very different needs.
Are you willing to talk about that a little bit? Like what are the things that are particularly of interest to you, Lillian? What are the things that you struggle with, maybe?
Yeah. So I love rules and logic and everything fitting in their perfect box. And when it doesn't, like, my mind breaks down and I have like huge trouble comprehending, and all I want to do is solve it. And usually when that case happens, and there are gray areas in life, there isn't a solution, and that just, I can't handle that. That's a huge problem. Where Chloe seems to just live in the gray area a lot of times.
Is that true, Chloe?
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
I'm cool with not having answers to everything. I think it's even kind of cool to that.
So I gotta say, in this
possibilities,
this COVID isolation, which is driving a lot of people bonkers because we want answers and people want to know, when is it going to end? How are you both coping with this?
I think for the most part, I'm doing pretty well. I have a friend staying with me who normally lives alone, so she has to come stay with me during this time, and she's keeping me sane. But recently, I've just gotten used to hanging out with friends, which is a very new thing for me, and I miss that. And so this is a new feeling I'm dealing with.
Have you tried hanging out like in this format on a Zoom chat?
Yeah, I don't like it so much.
It's weird. It's
Yeah.
yeah, there's like a lag, and I always feel like I'm interrupting people, but it's better than nothing,
Yeah.
but it's not the same.
Right.
Not the same. And Lillian, how about for you?
I've been doing pretty well. I've been just mostly doing work, been very busy, so I haven't had much time to think about it. I know at the beginning I dove in and did like tons of research on it, but now I just feel like that just drives me crazy and it's not a good idea to do that. So like I stay away from like the news and information, and I'm just like, is it over yet? Just tell me that. I don't
Yeah.
need to know anything else.
I think a lot of us are that way, but I'm curious, what kind of work are you doing? Is it schoolwork?
No, I'm not in school right now. Because I have a job and hopefully the acting continues, so I don't the teacher. I might go back to that eventually. I don't know. But it's autism, so it was a lot of the things converting it to online was me doing lots of research on what programs are out there and figuring out how to make it work.
Man, it's what everybody's doing right now.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm reading what somebody is saying. Somebody says, "Thank you for sharing gray. How about light blue or Chloe's own rainbow?" Instead of saying that she's hanging out in the gray, that she's hanging out in her own rainbow. I like that. Okay. Okay, they're asking about twin. It seems so hard to find programs for adults in general. I struggle to find support in adult medical care, both for my autism and the set of birth defects I was born with. The part of that is both conditions are studied a lot in kids, even though they are lifelong conditions. So, but the part about, finding programs for adults in general, that's part of what you guys are solving with Ourtism, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what kinds of things are available right now through Ourtism
Okay,
in this
so
COVID isolation?
so we have a life map program, which is an individualized coaching, where the client has some sort of goal, whatever it is, and we help them plan and figure out how to meet that said goal with whatever executive functioning they need help with.
And again, they would go to Ourtism.com if they want to do that.
Ourtism.com.
And is it you guys doing the coaching or is it somebody else?
The two of us don't do coaching. We do have someone on the spectrum that does coaching, as well as a couple people off the spectrum. And it would be based on like your needs and your wants and who you want to work with.
Wonderful.
And then there's mentorship, which is less formal and can be more emotion based. And it's you match with someone who's a little above you and has been through what you've been through. So if you're in high school, you can match with someone just out of high school and talk about what you're going through. And the mentor will be someone who's experienced what you've experienced and can help you through whatever situation that is. If it's you're looking for a job, someone who just got a job. We're hoping to get more people involved in that. But
I love that.
It seems like
I love that.
It was something I really wanted growing up because it felt like everyone I met was lower because I was in programs that were that way. And then someone who's above me was usually neurotypical. And I wanted someone who's like just right at that level that could explain to me. Like,
what a very helpful thing.
You know?
I love it. And again, people can go to Ourtism, Ourtism.com. Chad writes in and says, I think the dogs are having the hardest time. Do you think that's true? Are the dogs having a harder time than you guys?
Yeah. As service dogs, they're used to being out in the world like everyone else. So they're just so antsy and really want to be working again.
Are you guys able where you live to take them for walks and be safe? Yeah.
A little bit, but right now there's just a lot of people walking.
Yeah.
Around our street seems to be a main street because the trail's closed, so they use our street as the trail.
Yeah, I have a big dog that's a rescue dog, and she needs exercise. She needs to be walked in. In the beginning, it was great because nobody was out on the streets, but now it's like, it's crazy how many people are out, and she's not good with that. She loses her mind. She turns into Cujo. They also wanted me to say to you that they said, love you both, really beautiful. You guys are really beautiful, and you are. Unbelievably, we've finished the hour, and it's such a bummer, but I hope that people will visit Ourtism, OURTISM.com, and see all the things that you guys have that are available and participate with you. What's that, Lillian?
Yeah, we have a lot of things out there, so please look us up. There's probably something for you.
And definitely go and check out the entire first season of Everything's Gonna Be Okay. And we need to start a letter writing campaign or something. I know that everything is a little in flux right now, but we are going to return to doing production, and we need to see season 2 of Everything's Gonna Be Okay. I can't live without it. So we're not allowing that to happen. It's, they have to do it. I don't care who I have to call. If I have to go lay in the road with a mask on my face, but they need to do a season 2. I need this. We all do. And for those of you who haven't watched it, you need to go watch it to see why. And what is the name of the episode on NCIS? So if they missed it, they can go and watch it on demand, Lillian.
Relentless, episode 15, I believe.
Yeah. All right. I'm very squeamish and have a hard time watching those shows, but I'm going to pledge to you that I'm going to go watch your episode. But NCIS tends to give me nightmares. Like I'm one of those.
It's more emotion based. It's okay. It's a cute story.
All right, I'm gonna go watch it. So ladies, I thank you so much for being here with us, and we're gonna look forward to hearing more. And Chloe, thank you so much for joining us. All right, thanks, and give my love to the dogs too. All right, thank you guys. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.